From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a big afternoon of Afternoons LALATE for June 9th, 2022, with the latest details on what's going on with your stocks, your bonds, your economy, the recession, the downward spiral of this economy with that inflationary concerns, the housing market crash and the stock market crash in 2022, and your four stimulus check update of 2022. Direct deposit of four stimulus checks are landing in boxes of viewers and members of this channel as they have pounds to get those incredible checks in every U.S. state. In this recording, we're going to go over those incredible checks in every U.S. state, and they're huge. You qualify for them. Single individual, $75,000 or less. Married couple, $150,000 or less. With children, without children, on benefits or not. Why do you need to get those incredible checks today? You need to get them today because the downward spiral of this U.S. economy became more pronounced this morning, as we had data coming in on the labor front. And the data was about as bad as you and I as a family on the Purple Power community have been talking about in the last 3 months. Over the last 3 months, we said that the data coming out of Wall Street saying that no one's losing their jobs, that everyone has job security, and that labor shortages are strong, and that people can demand salary raises was untrue. Today, we learned exactly that your analysis was correct, and Wall Street had it wrong. I'll have the latest details on the labor numbers released today and why it's important to get a four stimulus check in every U.S. state. We'll go over those incredible checks today that you qualify for. Step 1, become a member. Step 2, to get the incredible newsletter Monday through Friday. And Step 3, get that money in that newsletter. Go down the newsletter. I'll show you how to do it over this 1-hour broadcast of Afternoons LA. We have other breaking news today as well at Afternoons. We have the data coming out from the ECB, the European Central Bank, this equivalent of Jay Powell's department, and they signaled that they have to raise those interest rates even higher to battle inflation and what's at issue. Well, boy, we have a lot of data on that. Then we'll be looking at what's going on with brand new breaking news about medical debt that could be forgiven or at least removed from your credit report. Oh, wow, this is big news. And then a new report released minutes ago that says more CFOs believe we're going to recession than ever before. Boy, what a big day it is. We're just getting started. It's a big broadcast from the shores of Santa Monica, California. It's Afternoons. And good afternoon. I hope you're having a beautiful day for June 9th, 2022. Big four stimulus checks are in every U.S. state. We're going to go get them later in this recording. You need them because guess what? This economy is getting worse by the day. The latest data that was released this morning should not be a shocker to you because you already been talking about it with me in the live chats in these recordings over the last few days. We'll be going over that jobs numbers released minutes ago. Boy, folks, it's bad. Then we have data coming in from the CFOs of major banks and companies saying recession's coming. But what did they say about recession in the end of next year? Whoa, this is fascinating. We also have the latest announcement from the Central Bank of Europe, the ECB, that says we need to have more interest rate spikes. Mortgage and student loan debt forgiveness, housing market crash, and stock market crash of 2022 also all at issue because it impacts the Build Back Better Act. We'll be going over that data as well in today's big recording. But we start this afternoon with those incredible checks. A four stimulus check is in every U.S. state, and I got to tell it to you, as hard and as much tough love as I can, you need to get these checks. You need to get every check that's available right now, not wait, because guess what? In 90 days from now, if you think this economy is bad, it's going to be horrifically much worse. And now, the confirmation of my reporting from months at end has come out that we're going into recession next year. You know, it's very important to look back at what you and I as a family on this channel have done over the last few months. I've given you indication of where this economy is going and why you got to get money before we're there because the economy is getting worse. Last spring, I said this U.S. economy will have 8% inflation by December 2021. Wall Street said no, 2 to 3%. They were wrong, came in 8%. And now I also said over the last few months, it's going to stay at 8%. It has. We have that data later in this recording. So what does this mean for your wallet? What it means for your wallet is that the downward spiral in the U.S. economy predicted by you and me over the last few weeks is actually really on point. We saw that analysis this morning. When this morning the Department of Labor released the numbers for jobless claims in the U.S. economy the week before. And how many new unemployed people were there the week before? 230,000 people. This is a horrifically bad number. At the start of the pandemic, we had a number of 200,000. Then after we came out of the pandemic, we were about 180, 170. 2 weeks ago, we went to 200,000 new jobless claims. Then last week, 200,000. I said, can't keep on doing this. Can't keep on doing 200,000 new jobless claims. It's too high. We need the number to go to 188. If we go higher, we have a big problem. And we did. The weekly unemployment claims were released this morning by the Department of Labor for the week ending June 4th, last week. 200,000 new jobless claims. And guess what? Wall Street also, like I said, were expecting it to go higher like you and I did. But they only thought it was going to go to 210. It went to 230. The number of continuing unemployment claims as well, horrific at 1.3 million people. These are people who are unemployed for consecutive weeks. Now, why is this so important for you and me and our wallets? Is because the data out there is imperfect. It's not really on point, and that the analysis in some cases is really out to left field. What you got to do with a downward spiraling economy where there is stimulus checks in every U.S. state is you have to understand where we are right now and where we're going. That's why you're watching this channel, because it does three things. It tells you where this economy is, where it's going, and where the money is for you to grab right now. And I told you back in the month of February, by September, this is going to be a very bad economy. It's going to be in bad shape. I called it the stimulus stampede. I called the hurricane out to sea. I said a lot of things are going to happen really bad by that 90 days out, which is September. And I asked you, the viewers, the eyes and ears that are in the Midwest and the Southeast and the New England states, can you tell me what's going on? Tell me what you see. I asked you two questions over the last few days, actually the last few weeks, I guess the last 2 weeks, and we'll do it again right now. If you're in the live chat, these two questions. One, more or less of the two answers. Have you seen more or less people at the checkout stand in your big box retailer when you go to pay? And the viewers overwhelmingly have been saying yet less. In most cases, have been saying zero. That's big box retailers. We'll do it right now. More or less. Do you see more or less people at the checkout stand for employees in your big box retailer? The second question I've been asking is yes or no. Have you seen your friends or family, neighbors or loved ones lose jobs in the last month? And the viewers have said yes, absolutely, more than no. What does this mean? That the data coming out of Wall Street has been delayed. You've been reporting this in the live chat for nearly a month. And this is where it gets really interesting, because this is why you got to get a stimulus check right today. I got to tell you why before we go into the analysis of the checks later in this video. They're coming up in a second. The reason why is a lot of Americans inherently do not know that there is no more FPUC, PUA, or UI. They may have a job, you may have a job. Your son or daughter may have a job. One viewer in the morning's countdown today said, my son had a job at Sam's Club and was laid off with 300 other employees this week. Wow. So does that son know that there is no UI, extended benefits, PEUC, which is additional weeks of UI? Does that son know there's no FPUC, that's $600 a week that went on top of your UI, your unemployment benefits in 2020? Probably does not know that. And is presuming if laid off, well, I'll just get, $400 plus $600, I'll get about $1,000 a week. No, you won't. And you won't get as many weeks as you did. What if you're an Uber or Lyft driver? What if you're an independent contractor? You're going to get laid off. Just not saying that Uber or Lyft is laying off, but just saying, what if you get laid off as a 1099? There's no PUA anymore. So this is big problems for the viewership of this channel since day one, that many of which are employees or have son or daughters who are employees. You may be retired, but you may have a son or daughter, a neighbor, a cousin that's an employee, and they're about to lose their job. Is there that unemployment stimulus like we talked about in 2020? No, there is not. A lot of you are small business owners. Even you may have a side hustle, and you're wondering, I'm about to lose my business. Do you have that EIDL grant and EIDL loan of 2020? Anything for small business owners? I do not. It does not exist. Not that I don't have, it doesn't exist anymore. That is why you have to get the forced stimulus check that is in every U.S. state today, because you qualify. And here is the messaging I'm making a little bit louder and clearer than usual in Afternoons LA. If everything is perfect in your household, if you're financially independent, if you got a lot of money in the bank, you have everything saved up, you have your retirement fund, you're all good, but you still qualify for this money, go get it. Go get it. Because I got to tell you, the next 30 days are going to be really bad for this U.S. economy. And then after that, it's 2 years of recession. Back in February, I told you that starting in September, we're going to have 3 months we're going to have a bad downward spiral in this U.S. economy. And today, the data is changing very quickly. We saw now with the unemployment. It's important to understand how bad or how much worse it's going to get than where we are right now. Corporate America has not really announced layoffs. You're seeing layoffs because you go to work and suddenly you're laid off by your boss. But corporate America has not announced the major layoffs. That's what's going to happen next. Corporate America has not announced the major hiring freezes. That's what's going to happen after that. And then what's after that? You're in a recession. No one will have a job. No one will be able to get a new job, and the doors will all be closed. There'll be hiring freezes left and right. Imagine how different this is than 2 months ago. And this is why you got to watch me. This is why you got to be part of this community. Just last weekend, I was running quotes from just last weekend from financial analysts who said, no one's getting laid off. Untrue. That there's great job security. Untrue. That employees can demand salary raises. Untrue. That employees can not worry about any job insecurities. Untrue. They were running imperfect data, and you knew the data was wrong, and they were still saying it. Now, what's important to understand is that we haven't seen those corporate announcements with the exception of Tesla last Saturday when Elon Musk said, I'm laying off 10% of my employees' workforce, and I'm doing hiring freezes. But guess what happened this morning? Jim Cramer, when reporting from the West Coast in San Francisco for Silicon Valley, interviewed tech executives off the record, and they said, everyone's losing their jobs in Silicon Valley. All the tech companies, the low-level employees are all losing their jobs. They're all losing their jobs and they're hiring freezes. Now imagine, that has not been announced publicly by the companies. This is why it's so important for you to watch this channel. This is important for you to know where this economy is, because the announcement is delayed. The announcement of how bad the employment situation is delayed 90 days out. And you don't want to wait for that announcement because you want to get that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. You want to get it right now. I don't care if you will work, if you don't work. I don't care if you're retired or not retired. You get those checks right today, because it's very important that you grab every single check you can get and save it up. This last week, I delivered a report that said 70% of Americans have still saved up some money from the first stimulus package. Good. That's what I want you to do as well. Now, it's important to understand when we're talking about these forced stimulus checks in this U.S. economy is another new report out today, minutes ago, that says Joe Biden's approval ratings for the month of May and April have now been the same for the month of March and February. It's about low 40%, high 39% approval rating. Look bad? It is bad. How bad is it? It's about as bad as Donald Trump's second year in office. And if you take the two and compare the two, what does it mean? Well, in his second year in office, Donald Trump lost the control of the House, and eventually the complete Congress flipped to Democrat. So if you take the analysis of what happens when you have less than a 40% approval rating in your second year as president, then you and I can certainly guesstimate that in the midterm elections this fall, the Democrats will lose control of the Congress, and that it will turn Republican, which then causes you to question, will Republicans do a stimulus package in spring of 2023 when the recession is hitting like a tsunami? I don't know. I don't know the answer. But I do know this. Since the month of February, I've been telling you we're going into recession starting January of 2023. When I said that in February, I was the only person to mention it. By April, Deutsche Bank, the wonderful German bank, announced, yes, U.S. will be going into recession for 2 years next year. Over the last few months, very few people have been willing to say the word recession. Even Jamie Dimon doesn't want to say the word recession. Well, what came out today, also brand new today, is a brand new report. It's basically a survey. So the top CFOs, chief financial officers of the major companies in America. And what did they say? The overwhelming majority of them said we're going to recession January of next year. Wow, this is huge. There's a lot of data points today. First, in fintech, which is, you know, your Cash App, your Chime, your PayPal, fintech is having a real bad problem. They say there's a big problem with a lot of the fintech companies, the smaller ones, the valuation's too high, and they could be hitting dramatically. But a new report released called the CFO Council Survey asked the biggest CFOs and corporate companies, what do you think is going on with this economy? They should know. They're accountants, they're financial analysts. What did they say? They said 54% believe that they do not have faith in Jay Powell. Whoa. 54% do not have faith in Jay Powell. Then 77% said there will be a recession next year in the first half of the year. There you go. We went from just me in February saying it's happening, and now 77% of American CFOs in a major poll saying it's happening. That is a dramatic change. I mean, when I said in February we're going to recession, people looked at me and said, what is he talking about? I don't hear anyone else talking about that except you. You're the only one talking about that except you. Well, here we go. And this is very troubling. What else did the CFO say? They said you got to keep cash. They said more than half of them said you have to keep cash on hand. Cash on hand is stimulus. Cash on hand is grabbing every stimulus check that's important. And the situation is that 1.3 million unemployed people continuing week to week is a horrible number. The Build Back Better Act is a stimulus package that is in Congress that would give you additional checks on top of the checks I have for you today, not later, but today in this recording. A forced stimulus check is in every U.S. state tonight. By direct deposit, you can receive it if you apply in pounds. And I'm going to go over those incredible checks for you later in this recording. Build Back Better Act would propose to give you additional checks on top of that, $15,000 to $80,000. But what I'm making a little bit clear in every video starting today is that you cannot wait for Build Back Better Act. Why? Because the financial downturn of this economy in the next 30 days, well, between now and September, is going to be so severe. I don't want you to, wait out for something else. I want you to get the money today. Moreover, you need to get this money, then get that money, and then hope they do another stimulus package for the recession. The Federal Reserve has an interesting twist today, and its counterpart gave us the twist. It's the ECB, the European Central Bank. It announced that inflation is running too high. So they said they're going to do a half basis point at the next meeting and maybe a quarter thereafter. What do I believe Jay Powell's going to do? Half, and quarter. I believe he's going to do half in June, a half thereafter, and then a quarter thereafter. And then we have a situation changing. You know what? It's fascinating. It's fascinating that now for June 9th, 2022, those CFOs say, well, I don't have confidence in Jay Powell. I thought it was going to take to September for them to lose confidence in him. I've not had confidence in him since February. Now it's in June, they do not have confidence in him. This is big for your SS300. Why? Because Jay Powell believes that talking the talk will get inflation down. That basically him having press conferences will get inflation down, in addition to raising interest rates. Apparently it's not working because now the major CFOs don't believe what he's saying, and I told you it's not going to work. That's why Joe Biden needs to make that swap from COLA to inflation right today. What does that mean? Your current benchmarks are attached to a benchmark called COLA. It doesn't really move, but inflation does move. 8% is where we are likely right now, and it will likely be 4% later this year. I've been getting that number right as well. I said 4%, Jay Powell says 2%. Department of Labor and the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, confirms LATE's reporting again, 4% later this year. Even Art Hogan, a big financial analyst, says about 4% later this year. That's another $100 on top of your benefits. So that would be $300, not just that month, not just this year, but a lifetime. Now, there's always a time in the recording where you see me go like that, because that's about where I'm about to bite my lip. Why am I biting my lip? Because Joe Biden announced an executive order today. Oh, good. Did he call the Social Security Administration head and swap COLA for inflation? I mean, it takes all of less than 10 seconds to do. No, he did something about electric vehicles. Oh, how bless his soul. Electric vehicles and stamps and electric vehicles. Joe, make the phone call to the Social Security Administration head and swap that COLA for inflation right today. What are we waiting for? The issue at hand is that you just sort of wonder what's going on there. Now, we're not wondering what's going on with student loan debt forgiveness. I made it very clear over the last few days I'm not going to really record too much more about student loan debt forgiveness. Why? Because the determination has been made by the president. He's just not made it final. He's basically said, I'll do another $10,000 for everyone across the board forgiven, but I'm not going to do anything thereafter. Okay, that's the end of the story. So I'm not going to hit it with a hammer. Broadcast media will hit it with a hammer. They keep on running. Someone met with him and asked for more money. Someone met with him and asked for more money. It's not going to happen. He's made it very clear he's not going to do it anymore. So if you have federal student loan debts, do the following. Your debts are forgiven if you incurred your debt, if you became disabled after graduation. Your debts are forgiven if you went to work in the nonprofit or public sector. Your debts are forgiven if your debt was procured by the university against you by fraud. And then go to the Department of Education's website and look under the press releases, see everything that Miguel Cardona has talked about in recent days with the IDR credit, the public service loan, and the income credit deduction. He's using the language of existing statutes, modifying the language so you can qualify for forgiveness. What's going on with that gasoline situation? Oh boy, I'll give you the update in just a second. But remember, in the second half of this video, we're going to be going over those 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state. That 4 stimulus check is in every U.S. state, and so get it. Step 1, subscribe. Step 2, become a member. Step 3, get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday. Yesterday, I introduced a new expression to this channel randomly. It's just the way things happen. Something comes out of my mouth. Where did that come out of my mouth from? And then suddenly it becomes a new expression. Well, it's not bombshell. It's not moving the goalposts. It's not scars. It's not talking cows. It's not any of those. It is save a cactus, get a stimulus. Save a cactus, get a stimulus. There's some people who want to hug that cactus, and especially some states like Arizona, and they say, there's no stimulus. Let me hug the cactus. Stop hugging the cactus. The cactus won't hug you back. It's going to hurt you. Keep on hugging the cactus. It's going to eventually hurt you because guess what? There's stimulus outside down the road in the ground next to the cactus. Grab that stimulus because hugging the cactus is going to leave you prickly at least in the next few weeks. And then as the downturn of this economy hits, then all you'll have is the hug. All you have is the pines of the cactus in your arms and nothing more than that. So please stay with me for the second half of this video and get those stimulus checks. Save a cactus, get a stimulus. All right, let's go to that oil situation. Oil situation is not good. Oil situation is not good. Last night on Evenings LA, I went into a little bit of commentary about the human rights element. I'll feature a little bit tonight on Evenings LA, but I'm not going to do it right now. Let me just tell you the financial part of it. It's out of control. They don't have a solution. They have not found the solution, and no one has actually announced the solution. When you look at the White House has not officially announced the solution for the oil shortage. Who's going to give us the oil? Never announced the solution. And I got to tell you, I'm just looking at this like, excuse me? See, I'm pausing because I'm really about to. Yeah, the smoke is almost coming out of my eyes. The fire's coming out of my eyelids, and then my nose. You're going to see the horns coming out of my head soon. Janet Yellen was told last year, get ready to have a solution to replace that Russian oil if Vladimir Putin invades Ukraine. That was October, the Halloween last year. I'm not dressed as a fire-breathing dragon, but at the moment I'm about to turn into one. Why? Because it's June and we still do not have a solution. Not just the United States, also the Western allies. There is no solution yet for the missing Russian oil. Now, OPEC Plus has vowed to increase production, but that's not enough. That's not enough. We're missing anywhere from 1.5 to 3.5 million barrels a day, depending on how much OPEC Plus increases production. So you need to get oil from somewhere else. Where are you getting something from somewhere else? I have an update about this one. I'm laughing because it's just, there's 4 options of where to get the oil from. The first one is Venezuela. And I told you yesterday, the president's really not reached out to Venezuela, which is a big human rights violator, because we have embargo against them for human rights. So what did the president do today in Los Angeles? He had a big party. Well, that's what I call it, a party, but he calls it a conference. A conference of the Americas. The Americas. Did he invite in Venezuela? He did not. You have a party, Joe, and you don't invite me? So I don't think we're getting oil from Venezuela. You have a party and you don't invite Venezuela. You're not getting oil from them. So you can cross them out of the list forever. I mean, in an oil shortage, what do? You have a party and not invite the oil countries. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, what were you conserving on the The cows in the blanket? Yeah, to conserve on the pigs on the blanket. Not cows on the blanket, pigs on the blanket. Were you conserving on the puff pastries? The puff putins, the puff pastries. Were you conserving on the puff pastries? Invite Venezuela to the party, Joe, so you can milk them up and get them drunk and give them oil for us on the discount. That's how I do it. You're gonna say, LA, you run for president. You get Venezuela's president drunk and get us oil cheaper. Yeah, that's my presidential platform. There you go. Second, Brazil. We basically did the same thing to Brazil. We also did to Cuba, but they don't have oil for us. We did to Nicaragua as well today, but they don't have oil for us. We just didn't invite a lot of people to this party here in Los Angeles. Not me, Joe Biden didn't invite them to the party. So where's the solution? He wants to go to Saudi Arabia. Joe Biden wants to go to Saudi Arabia. Now, if you watch last night's Evenings LALATE, if you know what I'm getting at, you're going to see the humor of this line. So Joe Biden's going to Saudi Arabia. Why? To play golf with Phil Mickelson? No, he's to get oil. Yeah. Sound a little bit ironic. Yeah. So who's going to be Joe Biden's ambassador to go to Saudi Arabia to ask for oil? Yeah, Phil Mickelson, Dustin Johnson. I have the whole list here. I mean, it's Rise of DeSambo because apparently it's all golf gas. It's just starting becoming a blur on this channel, isn't it? Yeah, if you know what's going on, then you understand the backstory. It's the Saudi-led golf tournament that started today. At the same time that Joe Biden is reportedly off the record going to ask for gasoline from Saudi Arabia. Oh boy, it just stings like a human rights violation. Awful. So that is the problem at that issue. They gotta get that oil. They don't get the oil, then guess what? You've seen the graphic on this channel. 185 a barrel international Brent crude. That's where we're going. Where are we right now? 120. Yeah, that's a lot higher. How much at the pump? If you remember this channel, you've seen how much of the pump it's gone up in just the last 3 days. In the last 3 days, the U.S. domestic unleaded price of gasoline went from like $4.40 to $5 in just the last 3 days. That's the average in the United States. I understand. Los Angeles, it's 7. It'll be 8 o'clock. It'll be 8 p.m. by 8 p.m. tonight. It'll be $8 a gallon. It's just out of control. $10 a gallon. When I made the recording, what was it, a week ago? I said we would likely go to $10 a gallon in the United States. At the time, I was basically projecting out maybe a month from now, but Lord, I mean, the way we're going, it could be a week from now. Very, very telling situation across the board. That is why you got to get these stimulus checks. You got to get these stimulus checks. If there's anything that's going to impact you directly is gasoline, whether you drive a car or not, because the products you buy are dependent upon that. The employees that work are dependent upon that. That fourth stimulus check is in every U.S. state. In the second half of this video, we're going to go over it. What are you waiting for? Become a member. Don't wait a second. Go into this video right now. There's a join button. Go right to it. Hit it. Become a Purple Hawk, Purple Power Calcino VIP. Then get that newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Get it tonight. Go right in there. Start applying for those 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state. Want to know how to do it? It's coming up after the commercial break. We got a big second half. We'll be talking about the recession. We'll be talking about more about where this economy is going to be later next year. And, of course, more about the pressures on your wallet. We'll be talking about the Build Back Better Act as well. It's coming up in the second half. It's America's most beloved show at afternoons. It's Afternoons LALATE. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. and then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now for a beautiful June 9, 2022 from the shores of Santa Monica, California. Good afternoon. Hope you have a beautiful day, and I'm glad you're here. Did you become a member during the commercial break? You better, because you can't miss those incredible checks. They're not going to be around forever. Step 1, subscribe. Step 2, become a member. The link to join the channel is under the video. Purple Hawk, Purple Parrot, Casino VIP. And then get those incredible 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state. How do you get them? I'm going to go over that starting right now. It's important to understand what you're watching on this channel. 3 things happen on this channel. Number 1, you learn where this economy is. 2, where it's going. And 3, I get you checks. Get you checks is different than reporting the checks. I've been getting people checks since day one. Over $50 million of the viewers of this channel have gotten. And it involves me showing you what to do, how to do it, and where to get it. It involves an effort by you. These are monster checks. These are checks. I only choose checks that are big payouts. Big payouts because I need you to be financially independent. Financially independent, especially as this downward economy in the next 90 days happens. Financially independent, especially as a recession comes next year. I need to get you big checks so that you have enough to solidify payment of your bills for many months to come. That's why I get you tens of thousands of dollars of stimulus checks, not puny little couple $100 checks. The very first checks started in March when viewers said, "LALATE, that Build Back Better Act hasn't gotten done. Can you find me some checks?" And I did. And I started giving them a lettering system in sequential order based upon when I found them. Check A, check B, check C. That's the lettering system I use on this channel. No one else refers to those check C. So you don't pick up the phone and say, "Hi, do you have that check A?" No, that's the way I refer to on the video so that you can follow along and make it very simple for you. So let's get some checks. Remember, the eligibility is you. You qualify for these checks. Let's go over that eligibility right now. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. If you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, veterans benefits, RB, go get it. If you rent, if you own, if you have children, if you don't have children, go get it. Step 1, subscribe. Step 2, become a member. All right, let's start with the very first check. The very first check is check A, $6,500 to $12,000. You heard me right. I did not say $1,200. I said $12,000. Would you like $12,000 today? I bet you would. How long would $12,000 cover your bills at home if you're in the live chat right now? Probably cover you at least 6 months, I would think. That's a lot of money. So what is this check A? It is the homeowners weatherizing grant check. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. If you're on benefits, go get it. How do I get it, LALATE? Very simple. Step 1, subscribe. Step 2, become a member. Then open that membership newsletter. It's delivered by me to you Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alert system. Go down in the membership newsletter till you find check A. Ah, there it is. I give you the link to go in and apply. Yes, you're applying online. That's how you apply. You go into the nationwide website, you choose the state, then you choose the home weatherizing grant, and you pounce and you get it. But you're not going to stop there then yet. You're going to go get check B. It's a $15,000 to $80,000. Wow. When was the last time you got a stimulus check of $80,000? Probably never. That's an enormous payout. I told you I don't play around here. It is $75,000 less, single individual, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. It is the homeowners grant check, and it's huge. How do you get this check? You know the routine. Step 1, subscribe. Step 2, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Parrot, Casino VIP. And then go down the membership newsletter till you find check B. Click the link, and you go in and apply. You're not going to stop there yet. You're going to go then get check C. Check C, same routine, just a little bit different about how to get it. You go down to the membership newsletter and explains to you the 15 places you call. Yes, call. You're not going to apply. You cannot apply online for them. You're actually calling 15 places. This is for my renters. Oh boy. And homeowners, rent, utilities, mortgage, this is more. And it's all in the incredible membership newsletter. Now, the success stories of this channel's viewers on getting check C date back to December 2020 because it's been around that long. It was codified thereafter as third stimulus, and now it's still sitting around. Here's the numbers for rent. Would you like $30,000 for rent? Well, that's what viewers have gotten. Would you like $15,000 for utilities? That's what Mark's brother-in-law got. Mark got $6,500 himself. Would you like $25,000 a year for 10 years or a lifetime? $250,000 over 10 years. That's what Mark's brother-in-law got for Snap. Would you like a combo of those items? Upwards of $32,000 for Nisi. There you go. Nancy is getting about $8,000 every few weeks. So she embodies the true spirit of the purple power. I tell viewers, keep on getting money every few days. She did it. She's at nearly $50,000. Here's Mark. He went from $32,000 the last graphic, then to $50,000, then to $100,000, then to $166. Go get it. Go pounds. That is why you want to get these incredible checks in every U.S. state. It was not a joke when I made that line yesterday. Well, I guess it was a joke, but it's very serious where I said, save a cactus, get a stimulus. Save a cactus, get a stimulus. Why is it so important? Why am I coming a little bit tougher today on the subject matter? You know, you have to always sort of gauge what consumers and viewers and sentiments are, and you have to sort of get a sense of what's going on. I can understand maybe when people first heard about the Build Back Better Act, maybe in 2021, they said, that's really good. I don't want to do any work. I'll just wait for the vote. And people kept on saying, when's the vote? Because they assumed the next day they would have a wad of cash in their hand. People don't believe that there's going to be a wad of cash in their hands tomorrow from Build Back Better Act. Of course not. Most viewers do believe, and as I do, that Build Back Better Act will pass, but we don't know when. Okay. So then it took a sort of ramp up to showing people, here are some checks, go get them. You've now succeeded in getting those checks. But there's always someone that's sort of new that finds this channel and then says, you know, the following comments. 1, I got a $600 check by doing nothing. Well, yeah, but I'm not getting $600 checks. I'm getting you $66,000 checks. There's a big difference of doing nothing to get $600 versus doing something to get $66,000. Yeah, don't play that game here. The second comment that often comes in is the remark of, I called up Bubba at City Hall, and Bubba says, I don't know what you're talking about. You made one call to Bubba, and that's the scope of your work? Bubba has nothing to do with check A. Bubba has nothing to do with check B. Bubba... There was a Bubba on this channel, by the way. There was a character named Bubba on this channel for a long time. That's not the same Bubba. I just want to make that very clear. It's a programming note. It's a program. It's not the same Bubba. He has not taken a new job at City Hall. If you contact Bubba and ask for rent assistance because of COVID, and you make one phone call and he's like, done, and you're like, there's no money in Arizona because Bubba at City Hall says there is none. I'm going to go hug a cactus. Then go hug a cactus. If all you know is to call Bubba, and if Bubba says something ridiculous, then you're done. Well, then you're done. Then you're done. I can't convince you to call someone other than Bubba, but, you know, that's up to you. So ultimately, there's a learning curve. Now, what I've been very good at is telling you how bad it's going to be. And there's different elements at issue. I know that some of you may not be hurting really badly financially, and are hearing my warnings, get it now because you may, or whatever comfort level you have now may get worse, or you may fear, or you may understand that the uncertainty of this economy is so severe that you can't wait on money that's available. Let me say it another way right now. I don't know with that midterm elections that could flip the Congress and give you Republicans for 2022 if they're going to do a recession stimulus package. Here's what the CFO said in this new report released today. They said the recession will be just for the first half of next year. Excuse me? Is that Bubba's CFO? That makes no sense. A recession for 6 months? Okay. This is where there's always a lot of nonsense out there with the financial markets. A recession for 6 months. There's no such thing as a recession for 6 months, folks. There's going to be a recession longer than 6 months if there is a recession. But I don't want you to focus on the word recession. I want you to understand that there's a downward turn of the economy. It is this type of talk where people just give sort of a wrong analysis or a half analysis that I worry for people who hear it. A few days ago, people said, one analyst said, the markets are great. It's just the housing market that's bad. Untrue. People that said that are millennials that are, 24 years old and pressed record and made a YouTube video said, it's the dip, buy the dip. No, the dip is just starting. The stock market crashed in 2022. It may be down 26%. We're not starting. We're just starting. We can go down 40% because that's what happens in a recession and a bear market. And that is why you really can't risk it. If there's money sitting in front of you, you know the money's there. I mean, that's a no-brainer. There's money sitting in front of you, check A, check B, check C. Why would you not get it? To risk the future, which you and I don't really know. We don't know how severe it will be in December, in 3 months from now, or September. Will my analysis, will my projections of where this economy is going to be by September be correct again? Will my projections about a recession next year be correct again? We don't know if I will be correct again, and if my doom and gloom, if that's what you want to call it, is going to be spot on, and we're going to be as bad as we say we are. Hey, if we're great, if we actually don't even have these financial downturns, then who cares? You got extra cash in the bank because you got that four stimulus check in every U.S. state right now. That is why you don't wait across the board. Now, what we do know is that there are certain parts of this downward spiral of this economy that impact you directly, that we certainly see elements really becoming almost indisputable. One, we understand that we will have a big downturn of this economy if the gasoline prices remain high. Well, guess what? We know there's no deal for gasoline replacement from any country like OPEC Plus or Saudi Arabia lined up yet. So the gasoline situation will be as bad as it is now or worse. There's no way it can get better. That's a no-brainer. So to think that the economy is going to be, maybe the economy will be okay. Well, the response is, where's the solution on gasoline? Oh, yeah, you're right. Maybe the housing market will come back. Yeah, maybe it will, but where's the solution on gasoline? Oh, you're right. The stock market may come back. Maybe it will, but where's the solution on gasoline? Yeah, that's the first part of the equation. The second part of the equation is we know that Jay Powell is going to raise interest rates. I mean, we know he's going to do at least 2 more raises, maybe 3 more raises. That's going to raise everything a lot more expensive. Mortgage rates are going to go higher. Housing, the 10-year Treasury note, the 10-year Treasury note is going to go higher. Stocks are going to lower. We know that's going to happen. He's given us guidance, and all the analysts agree. There's no dispute. There's going to be more interest rate spikes. So how can you not think that the economy is going to be worse in the next 90 days? There's no way not to think that. The question is how bad, and the question is how severe, and how much does it directly impact you? I got to tell you, if you're retired, if you don't drive a car, if you don't have a job, you're just relaxing home watching this channel, it could all impact you in one way. From the bread you buy at the supermarket, to the milk that got delivered yesterday to the supermarket, to anything. The dry cleaning, you picked up the dry cleaners today, it could all impact you in some way. And there's no inherent solutions in there. And when the spiraling downward is happening, boy, a lot of issues at hand. I have some good news for you. If you have medical debt, even if it's $10, it's currently appearing on your credit report. So you went to the dentist and he billed you $50. You paid him, your insurance company paid him $40. He's like, you owe me $10. I'm going to put it on your credit report. Yeah, some dentists would do that. Well, guess what? That's a negative entry on your credit report. Ouch. Not as of July this year. Congratulations. This is great news. The credit companies, which are Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, had agreed that taking effect July 1, any past medical debts will not appear on your credit report for anyone. I think I mentioned this early this morning, but I didn't mention it clear. It's for anyone, any age, any type of person. This is huge. And yes, if it's a $10 entry for a dentist, it could hurt your credit report just because it's $10. That's how credit report works. At just a $1 item on the credit report could impact you. Imagine you go to the dentist 3 times, it's $3 $1. That's 3 hits on the credit report. It will take effect July 1 and will continue to roll out all to next year, which basically means within about a year they'll fall off completely. This is huge. Here's one of the quotes. Leslie Tain, who's founder of the Tain Law Group. A small debt of $25 can really negatively impact a credit score. Just the reporting of it, the medical, $25. So that's huge. Great news for you across the board. Here's what you need to know. Is that tonight on News LA, we have a lot to go over, from everything from that massive Medicare report and Social Security announcement from Janet Yellen, the latest details on Jay Powell, what's going on with Joe Biden, that swap of COLA to inflation, the situation on gasoline, then the situation on labor, as the labor market really is just falling apart very, very quickly. And I deeply worry that people who have a job don't know that the jobs around them are disappearing by the minute. And they think that their job security is fine and that even if they're laid off, there's a replacement job lined up. We're going to talk about that tonight on Evenings LA and how it impacts your wallet. We'll be talking about Build Back Better Act and those incredible other checks that could potentially be coming to you thereafter. We'll be talking about that midterm elections and why that Build Back Better Act is so important in that equation. And moreover, what about January 2023? Will there be a recession stimulus? And if there's not, why it's important to tonight? Become a member. Become a member right now. Get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday and get those 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state. Stay with me tonight at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, America's most watched show for financial news heats up. It's Evenings LA. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, thank you for joining me on Afternoons LA. I'll see you on evenings at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time.